Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host Brett Murphy, and for today's video I have a brand new top 10 for you all, and I'm going to be counting down the top 10 horror movies to watch in summer. So you might be wondering why I'm talking about horror / Halloween movies in the summertime. Well, first things first, Halloween / fall is my absolute favorite time of year, and summer is my least favorite. So I figured I'd try and take some of that joy that I get out of Halloween and bring it to the summer to see if it makes me like it anymore. I highly doubt it. And you may be thinking, movies in the summer? No, summer's for getting out, going to the beach, going to the pool, tanning and all of that garbage. Yeah, no, look. Some people are just like me. Maybe you don't like the summer, you just want to stay inside and watch movies all day. Or, let's not forget, there are such things as summer nights, or rainy summer days, or sometimes it's just too damn hot out and you want to stay inside and enjoy some movies with a popsicle or two. So I wanted to try and take some of that joy that I get from Halloween / fall and bring it here to the summer, combine the two, and make some Summerween themed videos. And if you get that Summerween reference, then we will definitely be best friends. Before I hop into the actual top 10 itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my top 10 videos. So be sure to check that out, and I guarantee you'll find something you like. And so without further ado, let's hop right into things. And in typical fashion for me and top 10s, there is going to be a bit of cheating here because I do have some honorable mentions. And those honorable mentions are the recently released X and Ari Aster's Midsommar. And now, number 10. The Fear Street Trilogy. These movies dropped on Netflix only about a year ago, and we saw something that we'd never really seen before. Each of these movies released, what, a week, 2 weeks within one another? I've never ever heard of anything like that. And they weren't like cheaply made movies or only like an hour long. No, these were hour-and-a-half to 2 hour long movies released a week or 2 weeks apart from one another, all a part of the same trilogy. That's crazy. And the even crazier part is that they're all pretty damn good. The only one that's totally and completely summer themed is the second one, which is 1978, and it's set at a summer camp. However, all three of them released during the summer last year, so anytime I think about them, it automatically gives me the summer vibes. Number 9. It Chapter 1 and 2. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of cheating on this list, just a heads up. I already gave some honorable mentions, then I said the Fear Street Trilogy, and now I'm saying It Chapter 1 and 2. I do think that these two are stronger together than they are viewed as two separate movies, because it really is one whole complete story. But if we are talking about them as individuals, I do think that the first chapter is vastly superior. However, both of these movies are undeniably summer themed. The first one takes place at the start of summer. School just ended, our group of kids are out and about, and now they're being terrorized by some weird demon alien clown thing. Speaking of that weird demon alien clown thing, Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise the Clown is likely one of the best casting choices ever, and I mean ever, made. The cast of kids is great in the first, they're just as great in the second, and the cast of adults in the second pair perfectly with their kid counterparts. Though I don't find either of these movies to be necessarily scary, they have a ton of heart, are definitely summer vibey, and they are very eerie and creepy, and good for a rainy day or a summer night. Number 8. The Lost Boys. This one is an 80s classic. It's about a small family who moves to a new town with the highest murder rate in the United States, only to find out that it is because the town is filled with some very stylish blood-sucking vampires. With a standout cast and both 80s and sunny summer vibes, this one is a must-watch. Number 7. The Evil Dead. No, we are not talking about the 2013 remake, we are talking about Sam Raimi's original The Evil Dead. Yes, the OG Cabin in the Woods movie. Has it aged all that well? No, not really. Some of the practical effects are still pretty gnarly, but some of the other stuff like the audio and some of the jankier elements to it in the comedy, not all of that really works. But it is the definition of a classic. This one forever altered the horror genre when it first popped up. Low budget, but freaky as hell. And even though it was Sam Raimi's very first movie, his fingerprints are all over it. This is definitely his style and set the stage for the rest of his career. So if you're in the mood to watch a horror flick about a cabin in the woods, why not watch the definitive original Cabin in the Woods themed horror movie? Number 6, Cabin in the Woods. Hey, that's actually pretty funny how this one ended up here, because I truthfully didn't even do that on purpose. So if you do take my advice and watch the OG Cabin in the Woods movie, why not transition from that into the one that is literally titled Cabin in the Woods? This one is sort of a mockery slash cynical depiction slash homage payer to every other horror movie or any other movie set in a cabin in the woods. That's what they say. It always starts off with a cabin in the woods, then our characters roll the dice on how they're essentially going to die by just being greedy little shits and taking something out of the basement that they're not supposed to. But this one is so perfect because it offers you the dual perspective that we've never had before. We get to follow the unknowing teenagers that are just, typical teenagers. We figure out why they're always so horny all the time, why they're always so dumb. We get all these little tidbits, and then we get to see the other side of things, following the operators underground that are sending these monsters, releasing all of these pheromones and, applying subliminal messaging and all this stuff. This movie is truthfully brilliant from start to finish. It's funny, it's scary, it's raunchy, it's everything that you could possibly want in a horror movie. Number 5, Sleepaway Camp. This one is definitely not the most original movie on this list. It's called Sleepaway Camp. It takes place at a sleepaway summer camp. Stop me if you've heard that one before. But what makes this one so special is just how truly shocking its final twist slash reveal is. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it for some reason, but if you have never seen it, do yourself a favor. The whole movie up until that final point is fine. It's a schlocky, campy, corny 80s movie. There is definitely some fun to be had and some gory and moderately entertaining kills. However, it is that final twist that cemented this movie in pop culture history, and it is worth the watch this summer. Number 4, I Know What You Did Last Summer. I mean, come on folks, it is literally right there in the title. I know what you did last summer. This movie is meant to be enjoyed and watched endlessly for the rest of time in summer. Not to mention, it has probably the most 90s cast of all 90s movies. I mean, you have Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Freddie Prinze Jr. It really doesn't get any more 90s than that. Sure, the movie is a bit generic by today's standards. In fact, it was actually a bit generic back then too, but it is no less entertaining. Number 3, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Really, I could have listed the entire franchise here because you can watch any one of them. I don't think they are specifically set in the summer, maybe the original is, but they're all set in Texas. It's in the name, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So they're all set in a very sunny, desert-esque location. So I'm counting that as summer because it does definitely give off those sunny summer vibes. There's not necessarily a cabin in the woods, it's more so a weird old dank house in the middle of Texas. But Leatherface is one of the most iconic slashers in the horror genre of all time, and though the quality definitely varies across this entire franchise, and by varies I mean the original is really the only good one and the rest of them are garbage. I mean, I guess the 2003 remake and some others in that area beyond that point have their fans, and that's understandable. But nevertheless, if you're in the mood for some sunshine, chainsaws, and a lot of blood and cannibalism and stuff, well, I've got the franchise for you. Number 2, Jaws. It was definitely a toss-up for me between this one and the one that actually takes the number 1 spot. The reason I put Jaws here, though, is because, spoiler alert, the number 1 is a franchise that I included, and the reason I didn't say the franchise for Jaws is because 2, 3, and The Revenge are 100% not worth your time. I've seen some people that are fans of some of the others, maybe because they have nostalgia for it, maybe they try to defend them saying, oh, they're not that bad. That's cool if you think that. I freaking hate them. The first one is a masterpiece and the only one worth watching. Some people might even say that it is the quintessential summer movie because a lot of people credit this original Jaws as being the one that created this whole idea of the summer blockbuster. And I'd say that's fairly accurate, so why wouldn't you give the godfather of summer blockbusters your attention this summer? Just do yourself a favor and don't plan to go swimming anytime soon after. Number 1, the Friday the 13th franchise. Yes, I am once again cheating ever so slightly by including, 4 13 movies or something on this list. That's only cheating a little bit. So yes, we can say that The Evil Dead is the original Cabin in the Woods movie. We can say that Jaws can be credited for the creation of the summer blockbuster, but Friday the 13th is the godfather of the summer camp slashers. And the thing that I love the most about this franchise is that there is so much variety, from the original from 1980 set at the summer camp and a lot of others set at a summer camp, all the way to Jason X being set in space, or the 2009 remake/reboot that gave us a much more hardcore and gnarlier version of Jason, to one of the best and campiest crossovers of all time, Freddy vs. Jason. There is just so much variety here, so much to enjoy. Some of it is genuinely good, and some of it is just goofy, corny, cheesy 80s and 90s fun. But you're here on this list to talk about the best horror movies to watch in the summer, and what better suggestion is there than 10 plus movies that are pretty much all set in summer and or summer themed in some way. Not to mention, Jason Voorhees is quite possibly the most iconic slasher out there with his hockey mask and machete in hand. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my top 10 picks. While you're at it, be sure to let me know what your top 10 picks are for the best horror movies to watch in the summer. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more content, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.